now we're going to introduce our panelists for the evening. We're going to go from this side. I'm going to ask that each panelist say their name, where they're from, their sexuality, if you don't mind, and just what you do in general as it pertains to your career. Cool? Do we need the mic?
Yes.
Okay. Just asking. No.
Excuse me.
Save the voice on essential.
Yes. Okay, we have one mic, please. Thank you.
My name is Ohene Cornelius. I'm from Harlem. My sexuality, I believe I'm attractive. I think as a sexual orientation, I'm straight. I have an actor and a musician.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Giles. I'm one half of a rap group, the Paxtons. I am heterosexual. I am a musician and a graphic designer. I'm from Chicago.
Hello, my name is She's Ryan. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I am a person who loves to be in love. So I can't really put a title on my sexual orientation. I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, and I used to do photography back in the day.
What's up, I'm Leasha Julius. I'm from DC. I'm one half of a rap group called Quincy, Vidal, and I am an actress, singer, musician.
Orientation?
Oh, I'm straight.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashar Bradshaw. I rap under the name Killa. I am mad gay, like the gayest. Yeah, I'm the only one holding it down for my sex. I'm a rapper to the death, like I would no filter. But yeah, I'm from New Jersey, but I stay in Bushwick, I stay in Harlem, I stay all around the world, so that's me.
Hi. I'm Mojo. I'm from Brooklyn, but I live in Queens, unfortunately. I am. This is y'all here. I am a event coordinator. I'm the general manager here at this gallery. I am big boy out here doing it. I am. Got my own questions. Basically, I'm just a personality, holds all that stuff that falls under great. And my orientation is sapiosexual. For those who don't know who that is, it's just someone who is attracted to the intelligence in others, to be sure. So that's me holding it down. So let's give it up for our panelists, please. Come on, go loud. We're not be shading tonight. No shading. At least until after 10. Okay, so the way this is going to work is this. These are our panelists. I have a series of questions that I'll be asking, and if you just want to chime in, you know, just chime in. Doing it debate style, old school, okay? First and foremost, how does everyone feel? Everyone's good? Yeah! Thank you. Thank you all for coming out. This event will be supporting the gallery, so it's highly appreciated. We have beverages back there as well. And let's get this started. So, first question is, what's the first question? I'm playing with you, Just leave me here. Okay. Okay. First question is, what I want to know is, when were you introduced to hip hop? That's something I think that's very important to open up the show.
The first rapper I was real animated by his bars was Special Ed. I used to have the poster up on my wall. I knew all the lyrics. I'm your idol, your highest title. I tried to do a little curl in my hair, but I have really very my waves go all the way over, so that wasn't working for me. And, yeah, I lived on Cypress Ave in the Bronx. More people died than lived.
It's actually kind of funny. My first, I guess, hip hop memory was jumping on my parents' bed, reciting Ice-T, what's it called? 1-800 Hustler, the New Jack City soundtrack. Why? That was the first rap I memorized. I have no idea. My sister caught me and didn't tell me she caught me and snitched on my parents because, I mean, you'd imagine what Ice-T bars was like. So yeah, that was my first hip hop memory.
My first hip hop memory, like Ohene said, was, you know, people along the lines of like special ed, but I have two very, very young parents, and when I was 3, my parents was still in their sophomore year of high school. So you can imagine what I was listening to. And, you know, it was everything. It just progressed over the years it can go from special ed to Biggie. It's just, I had 2 very young hip parents who just did not care to play whatever they wanted around me. So that's what I was really brought up on, and I feel like that just molded and carved me to who I am today.
I actually wasn't into hip hop until later in life. I listened to a lot of funk music. My favorite was Prince and Michael Jackson and stuff like that. I remember learning all the words to the Eminem show in high school. And then I actually got serious about it when I started listening, when Common released Beat. That's when I got serious about hip hop. So that's that.
Yeah, that's kind of my story too. Like, I just grew up listening to like disco and like house music and all the Jersey club music. But like, once I saw Cameron and like the powder pink mink with the matching whip, I was like, I'm so fun. I can do this shit. You know, I was like, that's me. But yeah, but once I started getting serious into hip hop, that's when I really had to dig into the archives and started listening to like Foxy Brown, a lot of Remy Martin's mixtapes, and just, you know, focusing on like female MCs and like what the girls was talking about.
What they would give her, you know?
Cool. Question, Makiba?
Yeah.
Am I required to answer the questions too, or?
If you want to, yeah. Sure.
Okay. Just asking. I don't want to OD on your show.
No, go ahead.
I was introduced to hip hop in the golden era, late golden era. So, you know, Notorious B.I.G., like he said, Kim and the Foxies, when Jay-Z was still, you know, Jigga, like, you know. And I've been with hip hop, I'm gonna say we broke up in about 2004, 5. Around that time, when the Laffy Taffies came out, that's when we kind of went our separate ways.
Don't do that.
No, it is what it is. You know, this is an open panel, safe space, and no shade.
Not the safe space.
But yeah, so that's my story with hip hop. To me, I have a very hip hop influenced mother. My mother used to tell people that Jay-Z was my biological father. And, you know, when people would ask me could they get tickets, I would cry because he's not my dad, you know. So that's the story of my younger years. No, for real. That's how serious hip hop was in my household. The next question I would like to ask is, what's your take on sexuality in hip hop? It doesn't have to be in present tense, but just in general.
What's my take on sexuality in hip hop? I think that when hip hop first started, it was a lot more intense and spiritual in terms of sexuality, and now it has been sort of like it's like I made a post about it today. It's been dumbed down to like how many bitches or hoes you got, how many of your enemies women have you fucked, how many chains can you wear at one time. I'm not too into a lot of the mainstream hip hop in that terms because that's what it is. But when it first started, I think sexuality in hip hop was very much connected, part of the 3 components of hip hop.
So what's my take on sexuality in hip hop? mean, it's kind of all over the place, honestly. I have, I guess throughout life, I wouldn't say so much conflicting views, just I guess a variety of takes on it. You know what I mean? Like my first real, I guess, run-in with sexuality and hip hop was like probably on the Nothing But a G Thing video when they're playing volleyball and the bikini comes down when they're playing beach volleyball, you know what I'm saying, like outside the park. And yo, it's like a, I don't know, like 7-year-old, like that was the greatest thing that ever happened on television. I was like, wow. But then, you know what I'm saying, you get down to like Cam and the Fox, and I was just talking to my wife about this the other day, like how you, when you're listening to old Cam and she says stuff like shout out to all the real niggas in jail beating their dick to my XXL. And I'm like, yo, that shit is powerful as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Can I curse like that? I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah, that's, yeah, like that message in itself was really powerful. As a young man, like that was powerful for me to hear, because it's like, it wasn't just, okay, we got hoes, you know what I'm saying? Or okay, we got bitches or whatever. But it was like, she was basically saying that there are incarcerated men who lust after me, and I'm fully aware of that, and that's fantastic. And this is my brand. I choose to do that because it's what I choose to do. So be it. So on and so forth. Honestly, I think that right now in hip hop, the diversity of those messages is I guess what's lacking for me. You know what I mean? Like every voice that we've heard about sexuality in hip hop, like we've heard every different angle and perspective, and I think that's the key. I think right now that diversity is really what's lacking. I like hearing Jigga and Foxy, like Jigga and Foxy, like trading back and forth about, you know what I'm saying, with the sexual bravado and things of that nature. Like that to me was actually a special time in the music, and without having that balanced perspective, I think that's where, you know, we get in trouble.
That was awesome. Yeah, seriously. I mean, everything that you just said makes so much sense, because when I hear hip hop, I'm just thinking about the real. We all listen to more than one genre of music. But to me, I can't speak for everyone in the room, but when I listen to hip hop, I just think real. Like, wow, you know, the real people. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, the Foxy and the J. Or like, even LL Cool J back in the day, like doing it, wow, doing it. Like that, I mean, that's a really, really sexy song, and it's just real. It just speaks to me. So I feel like now, you know, if we spoke about more things like that, being like, you know, having a message like, wow, this is the song I want to listen to when fill in the blank. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to how many chains I got, how many girls can I have sex with, how many hoes can I bag in the club? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel. That's my take on like sexuality in hip hop. I would love for us to just be real. Keep it real.
My take on sexuality in hip hop. I actually think that I don't know. I always felt like sex was what made hip hop attractive. It was one of the things that made hip hop attractive. That's why we listen to it, because we do like to hear that stuff, you know, whether you like it or not. I'm down with I think it's a beautiful thing to glorify, you know, body parts and who we are as a person, as people, the woman, and how she's beautiful and her curves and everything. I think that's a great thing. I'm down with that. I think that what the mainstream hip hop gives us, they only give you a certain side of the sexuality. Oh, shake that ass, you know, oh, let me give you some dollars, blah, blah, blah. You know, that part, that without, you know, doing that and ignoring the beauty of, you know, sexuality, I think is something that we have to work on in hip hop. But I don't know, that's how I feel. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Sex is a beautiful thing. I just feel like sexuality shouldn't be this taboo situation, because everyone thinks about sex and everyone has sex, if you will. if you look cute, you know. Like I just feel like there's so much more other things in hip hop that are so negative that we should be really assessing. Like the fact that these people talk about things that the youth shouldn't really be listening to, as far as like the violence, as far as like the drugs. And I'm not saying that if that's your realness, if that's your reality, you can't speak on it. But it's like, I don't want to have kids and feel like my kid needs to listen to a Jay-Z record after the fact that he's not even selling drugs anymore, and that's all he's still talking about. Like, you know, like, Jay-Z, I don't believe you anymore. You want Oprah status right now. You still not pushing nothing on that anymore. I just feel like sexuality, it shouldn't be this taboo hot topic. There's other things that we need to be talking about in hip hop. And that's just how I feel. Okay, I'm gonna hold the temptation.
To me, sexuality in hip hop is like peanut butter and jelly. To me, I feel like you can't have one without the other. And in the 90s, you had your Kims and your Foxes, but and Adina Howard, please let's not forget the great, women who really took it there and crossed the line from lady to lady who has needs. You know what I'm saying? And to me, sexuality in hip hop is just necessary. I think what happened was that empowerment turned into just like a cheapness, and it went from, okay, yeah, I really fucks with her. Like she's expressing herself the way she needs to be expressing herself, and it went to, damn, I don't really fuck with her because this bitch is in the background of the video now, just shaking her ass for $200. That's a flat rate for video hoes, if y'all didn't know. So to me, sexuality is just so, it's gone. And as far as men, I feel like the hyper masculine thugged out thing is so played. And then we had that, and then it turned into this, like one of the other panelists said, it turned into a how many hoes you got situation and bitch on my dick. Like I listen to music now, and literally no one tells a story anymore. Like it's just like a person who sits there and just speaks on several different topics at the same time. In my hood, that would make a motherfucker crazy, but in a hip hop record, that's a, you know, a song. Like it's not even a flow of lyrics. You go from talking about to a car, to the bitch was in your car, and the bitch sucking your dick in that car, and then your house, and how the bitch sucked your dick in your house, and you know what I'm saying? But that's not a story because there's nothing lucrative. You don't mention 90 different bitches, and we don't remember no, like it's not a story.
There's no character development.
No character development. What did the bitch in the car do that the bitch in the house couldn't do? Like that's the stuff I miss, like you know, stuff like that. Okay, my next question is, do you as panelists discuss the topics of like sexuality in your music?
Yes.
Break it down for us, play
All the time. Because to me, I feel like when I'm writing something, it's more so me living in my own bubble, like I'm used to. So I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. And it's like if I want to talk about something that, a blowjob, if I want to talk about, you know, coloring in a color book, I'm going to talk about that because that's my free space to do that. Like no one's paying for my studio time, no one's paying for the clothes on my back. So I feel like as an artist, I can do whatever I want to do. And it's like, to me, sexuality is something that's very much a part of my life, you know, because I don't relate to a drug dealer or a father that doesn't take care of their kids or someone out here smacking bitches and pissing on hoes. That's not my reality. I'm a college graduate. I'm struggling to pay my phone bill, you know, do what I gotta do. So I'm gonna talk about what I know. Sometimes sex comes up in that. And that's just me.
Hell yeah, I talk about sex. I mean, look, I write what I know. That's my motto, right? What you know.
Exactly.
Okay? I'm 23 years old. And right now, at this time in my life, I like to have sex. And so, and I break it down in my songs. I got this song called 93 Jeep Cherokee, and I go into the details. I go into detail.
We need to play that on the projector.
That sounds like a ringtone. Send that to me,
Yeah,
please.
so I basically I go into detail about the sexual activity that I have had with, you know, my male friend. I got this other song called Run and Tell Your Daddy. It's basically, you know, run and tell your daddy you had a woman today. And hell yeah, talk about it, because there's nothing wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think that's what, you know, we have to teach the world, that there's nothing wrong with it. You know, we shouldn't shun it because God made it. It's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Safely.
Well, amen.
Safely.
How many of you people in here are artists? Artists are some of the freakiest people in the world. And you cannot tell me any different. I'm an artist, and of course, Mojo, of course we write about sex. I got a song called I Want Your Sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, a sample from George Michael, because that's what I wanted at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that sex is a bad thing. I don't think that it should be looked down upon, or like a woman is called raunchy because she dresses or says certain things in her music. I don't think so. I can go and have a seductive show. Part of my performance is being a sexy woman on stage, and it's just because I embrace myself as a sexy woman. That's it. It doesn't mean you're a whore, a slut, a tramp. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you can have fun and you can actually embrace your sexuality and show women or men or whoever that you don't have to be a slut to be sexy. So, you know, I think that it's okay for artists, men, women, whomever, you know, just do and write what's on your mind. What's up?
So, because you talk about like being on stage, being a sexy woman, I want to ask you two in particular, and then the rest of you guys, how you define sexiness as a woman. Like, what is that definition for you, and how do you go about portraying that without crossing that line into whoredom or, you know, Tricksville? You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have a question and answer section at the end of the show.
Dump you hot,
She said it, scream it out. She said it.
I mean, that's a very real question. It's real life. It depends on you. What are you comfortable with? You know what I'm saying? That's what it boils down to, because Miley can think she's being sexy on stage, right? I mean, that's what she's thinking.
Right.
She's thinking that she's being sexy. Some people may think you look like a chicken with his head cut off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what some people are seeing. So me, with my little gyrating and my whining, I'm West Indian. I'm gonna whine my ass off on stage. But I'm not popping that ass, twerking that ass. I'm not doing that. But some people may do it and just think that's normal, sexy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. How do you feel?
I really think that sexiness is not in looks. It really is in your presence. And people tell me, you know, a lot, you know, especially after I perform, oh, you sexy, and I get it from men and women. But what it is because I have the presence, or I have the confidence, or I know that what I'm saying is true, and I believe in myself. And I think that if you have that, if you're grounded, then that's sexy. That's attractive as shit. You know what I'm saying? People are attracted to those who know who they are. And that's really what it is.
And that's why we have groupies. Okay? Because I have did a show and walked into the building, ain't nobody give me my life. I took a drink, went on stage. Now everyone is trying to come to me. Because people do like that. When you're very much, you know who you are, you're grounded, and you deliver something. But I just feel like sexuality and sexy, that's very much up to you. I think it is a problem with the record industry because they say this is what's sexy, and now everyone is trying to live up to that. That's not the reality of the situation. Because what's sexy to me is not what's sexy to you. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like different strokes for different folks.
What was the question prior to this?
The question was, oh Lord. The question was, do you discuss sexuality in your music?
No. How do you define sexuality? And what's the limits before you cross over to trick stuff?
Okay, I can combine all that into one.
Okay.
As far as a personal definition of of sexy. Confidence, everybody said that. Personally, curves. Confidence, curves, and color. Alliteration. Yeah, like, and somebody else mentioned awareness, like being aware of like what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like being aware of themselves and like what they exude when they walk into the room and all the above. Like, yeah. As far as with the records, how you I guess take the sexy over to the records and what you do with that. I believe in talking about what you go through. I have this little thing I always joke about, some of my guys or whatever, where like we'll be listening to certain rappers and be like, yeah, I don't really think he be fucking for real. Like you hear certain rappers and the way they talk about girls, and it's like almost like girls are their enemy, like you know what I'm saying? Like they always talk about girls, it's like they picking on them like it's like kindergarten or like hitting them or something like that. I'm like, man, I don't think you really be doing things with girls for real, because that's not like you be angry and shit, you know what I'm saying? So but I just feel like you write about what you do, and so personally, I do a lot of storytelling. I've definitely done a lot of, I've done my fair share of storytelling about relationships, about experiences, about all of the above. But it's not so much in glorification as much as to give more people more perspectives about what is going on out here in the world when they are, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a dude may get on the track and be like, yeah, I fucked 3 hoes. Cool. But, for me, I'm one of those people who always, like somebody said, character development. So I like to, I guess, give you an example, even if it's through my own, bleeding on the track or whatever, what I was thinking when I fucked 3 hoes. What them 3 hoes might have been, I can't really speak for them, but what, what brought them to that place. What happens afterwards? What's the aftermath of that? It was a good night, but then what happens tomorrow? And how does that play out? And that's just that's my idea of responsibility with the sexuality of the records. It's like, sometimes it's gonna just be a party, sometimes it's gonna be drama, you know what I'm saying? And how do you, I guess, educate and entertain at the same time without, really like wearing it as like, I have to educate and entertain at the same time. You can do that just by keeping it real. So.
I just want to say, if anybody who likes women in there, anybody else want to fuck this mannequin right here specifically? I want to have sex with that mannequin. Oh really? I like her.
With the one arm?
I just want to. How you gonna be like, nah, she got one arm, fuck that. You know what I mean? She don't need yeah, I really like how this mannequin looks. I don't know, I've been staring at it for some reason. I'm starting to find out. I've been like chicken shit in my music. Like I haven't gone as far as I think I could go in terms of sexuality and everything. But in terms of we're talking about sexuality here. I remember I had an interview a while back with Mokaad, and she came to the pit. And when I first had my album about to come out, I had a song on it called Faggot Joey, and it was a song about a young boy being molested, me being a young boy, and it was rap bars and it was singing in it and shit like that. And my album's about to come out, and I literally panicked, and I was like, I cannot put this shit out because people are gonna look at me funny, you know what I mean? And it just starts to get to a point where now, because I'm just becoming more comfortable with myself as a musician, becoming more comfortable with myself as a person. Even though I'm not like 18 anymore, you're still learning about yourself. It's like, well, fuck it. People gonna look at you weird. I got weird shit that happens to me. I got weird shit that's going on in my mind. I got weird shit that's going on in my life. And I have to start being able to put it in my music, you know what I mean? I think so far I've talked a lot of surface level things in terms of sexuality, in terms of relationships, in terms of my thoughts on freedom and politics and stuff like that. Everything has been surface level. So from here on out, I want to say starting with sexuality, but because we're talking about sexuality here in this panel, I want to take it further. I want to be able to be soft as ice, or smooth as ice, or as deep as the ocean, or as rigid as the ocean can be if you fall from a high enough point. So that's what my goal is from here on out. When I'm making music, I want to hit the deeper core of my truth, rather than trying to hold back and say, well, this won't make it on the radio if I say this, or my friends will look at me weird if I say this, or what is this dude gonna say, or what is this girl gonna say when I approach him after I've said this stuff. So that's how I feel about myself as a musician thus far as a musician.
Okay, cool. Going back to what O had said, last year the artist by the name of Frank Ocean made news for coming out as a bisexual person, and allegedly the first openly bisexual person in hip hop, culture. My question to the panelists is, do you feel that homosexuality will ever be respected in hip hop the way everything else is fucking accepted in hip hop? If so, explain. So we're gonna start with you, O, since you got the question.
That's really.
Let's speak about it. Let's get real.
No. Is it respected? A lot of the label heads are gay. A lot of the A&Rs are gay. So is it respected? Keep it real. It's respected. Now you have to talk about who they're trying to sell it to, like who they're trying to sell hip hop to. A lot of it is middle America. A lot of it is young kids who have very religious parents. So they're teaching them a certain way of life, a certain living. So when it's like a dual thing, you know what I mean? Are we talking about the labels and who is behind the scenes, or are we talking about who's in front of the scenes? Because just now in all of music, I think like with pushes from people like Lady Gaga and Pink and Frank Ocean, people like that, where homosexuality, in terms of what we're selling to the audience, has become comfortable. But in terms of the behind the scenes, motherfuckers been gay for a long time. And that's not too surprising,
I honestly think it's just a matter of time. Like I think, and when I say a matter of time, I mean like everything happens in very, very quick waves. You know what I mean? So it's not really a coincidence that you got what's going on with Frank's record last year. I don't know if anybody's listened to the DENAE album, but that definitely, to me, is like, she's quite the poet, but it's definitely quite a statement along those lines as well. And then you got, like Sid the Kid from Odd Future or whatever. I mean, like the internet. I mean, that band is awesome or whatever. I was just at their show, and girls were trying to give I want to give you my news. Let me show you my news, Sid, and it's like, oh, this is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like this is happening, and it's happening. And what are, these are smaller mainstream artists, but these are mainstream artists.
So let me ask you something. Is it a difference between gay females and gay males when it comes to the culture, or?
Well, I think that, just as with everything, hip hop is male dominated, it's male run, men fetishize, female, homosexuality. So that being the case, that's going to be embraced first, period, and from a mass product standpoint. But like I said, honestly, I really do think that the wave is here, it's happening, and I think that it's going to be a matter of time. And what really stands out to me is the fact that it's not even like with Gaga's records and her videos and everything like that, it's kind of like it's in your face, it's kind of shocking. This is my personal perspective, everybody's from different things, whatever. But it's kind of like it's in your face, it's like, look at me, I'm here, we're here. And I think almost actually the subtlety of Frank's approach and like was, some of the stuff that you get on with Janelle and things of that nature, it's like, it's cool. I went through listening, jamming Forrest Gump and being like, man, this is a damn good song. And then after maybe the second listen being like, this is kind of weird, I don't know if I'm gonna sing along with this. And by the third listen, being in the shower like, you're my mind, boy, because it's a catchy ass song. And it's such a cool moment, you know what I mean? And so, I think that the more that happens, the more that, you know what I'm saying, that it's the more that happens along the same time as, you know what I'm saying,